First, the Egyptian god Osiris rose from the dead. Then the Canaanite god died and rose from the dead. Then the Roman god Mythros died and rose from the dead. Then, fourthly, Jesus died and rose from the dead. So Jesus isn't original. We have the Egyptian god Osiris rising from the dead, and the followers of Osiris would eat bread and beer or wine representing his body and blood, and which is basically cannibalism. And then we had Baal dying and rising from the dead. His followers would eat bread and wine. And then we had the Roman god Mythros dying and rising from the dead, and the followers of Mythros would eat bread and wine and be baptized into his name, and when they died they too would rise from the dead. And also Jesus. So Jesus was cut from the same fabric as Osiris, Baal and Mythros. And yes, so Jesus also, Dionysus, the Greek god Dionysus, changed water into wine before Jesus did. And the Greek god Hermes walked on water before Jesus did. And the Greek god Helios had a crown of sunlight around his head and wore a purple robe. I just wanted to let you know that's another reason why I didn't go to the Jehovah's Witness Memorial, because I'm not a Christian, and they are facts that why I don't believe in Christianity. I believe Christianity was cut out of the same fabric as the Egyptian god Osiris, the Canaanite god Baal, the Roman god Mythros, and then Jesus, and they're all cut from the same fabric. Copies of each other. It's all made up and it's not real, and I hate to say that, but it's best that you know, at least you know, you can still become a Christian if you want, if it gives you community, friendship, and I'm not saying 100% there is no life after death. I wish there was something nice, but I don't know, so I'm an agnostic. But when it comes to Christianity, I am an atheist. Just like a lot of you out there would be atheists when it comes to the religion of Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Hare Krishna. A lot of you don't believe those religions, so you're an atheist Christian. And I'm an agnostic atheist. I'm not saying there is, I believe that Mother Nature is God. You can discover Mother Nature not by reading books, but looking under the telescope. No, looking at the telescope at the night sky, looking under the microscope, learning about evolution. Mother Nature is God. She doesn't talk to us or communicate to us, or she doesn't know we exist, but she is our creator, and she created us through evolution. And evolution is a fact now, and we are basically super intelligent primates. Well, we think we're super intelligent, but that have become aware of our mortality and death. And as long as we are afraid of death, there will always be religion. But just think about the decade before you were born. What did you experience in that decade before you were born? Were you upset or sad that you hadn't been born yet? I had one of my commenters say, atheism does sound very sad. And I said, yes, it is sad we die, but as I said, it's a necessary part of life, death. We need death to make life bearable. And basically, if we didn't die, we'd eat up all the food and take up all the space. And we need new land for newborn babies. As the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, generation cometh and a generation goeth, you know. And that's the way the animal kingdom is too. Generation comes, generation goes. And before you were born, you weren't upset that you hadn't been born yet. And as Jerry Surveillance, the Gevais, Gevais, said, being dead is like being stupid. You only upset the people around you because you won't know you're dead. You won't know you're dead. And, you know, you've already been dead before. As Mark Twain says, I'm not afraid of being dead. I was dead for billions upon billions of years before I was born, and I never suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. But I'm still an agnostic. I don't know much at all. But I think atheism is the true religion. But atheism isn't a religion. It's like saying that abstinence is a sexual position. Abstinence is not a sexual position, just like atheism isn't a religion. Atheists just aren't convinced of God's existence. That's all. It's not like we want to be bad. We want to be good. We want to be nice. We want to be as kind to each other as possibly can, because this life is the only one we get. Let's leave the world a better place than when we found it. And the only people who are upset by death are the living. Death doesn't bother the dead. Because as the book of Ecclesiastes says in 9:5, the living are conscious that they will die, but as for the dead, they are conscious of nothing at all. Just like you were before you were born. And Roman headstones, there used to be a lot of Roman atheists on their headstones. They wrote, before I was born, I was not. Then I was. I am now not and cannot. So I was not. I was. Now I am not and cannot. That's on their headstone. And when you think of it, hair and fingernails feel no pain when cut or burned. Fingernails and hair feel no pain when cut or burned. I was talking to a doctor today at the hospital who said that, you know, we're talking about brain surgery and everything like that. And he said, they put you under a general anaesthetic when you have brain surgery, but you only feel the scalpel. If you're wide awake, you'd feel the scalpel on your skin, yeah, and the skull. But once they start cutting into your brain, you don't feel that. And I thought, really? On brain surgery? He said, no, if they take parts of your brain out or cut bits of your brain out, you don't feel. The brain actually doesn't feel any pain, but the skin does. The skin does on the scalp. So that feels pain. But once you go inside the brain feels actually no pain at all. The only reason why when they do brain surgery, they give you anaesthetic because the skin hurts. But once they go in the brain, and as I said, no brain, no pain. And once your brain rots away, you're just not there. So you've already been dead. You've already experienced death. And get over it. You're not going to exist forever. You're not going to be around forever. And it's a fact of life, you know. And I think it would be a better world if we all accepted that fact and be nice to each other and treat life as more special. Don't go killing each other in wars and thinking just because you're fighting for your country you're going to go to heaven. Yeah, because a lot of religion uses that. Oh, you'll die in the war, but because you're a soldier of Christ, you'll go to heaven. No, that's not true. We die. It's a fact of life, and it happens to the animals, and humans are animals, and we just have to accept the fact of reality. A lot of people admit we're mammals, but a lot of people won't admit that we're actually primates. We're highly intelligent primates. Well, I know I'm not that intelligent. So thanks again. Like, subscribe and comment. And thanks again for listening to my video. Bye then.